Okay, so officially start. My name's Cheryl Cortese. If you're joining us for the first time, and uh, you're all my babies, I think. Okay, I've been with the Juice Plus company now for 34 years, and looking forward to the next 34. But really, always love the stories so much. I mean, as I heard Andrea closing, and I heard Audrey talking about her son, and things that we all deal with in life that, from a health standpoint, that are not necessarily deadly, but miserable. As I hear Andrea talking about no more IBS, no more this. So I'm checking off the list for myself of all those things, that were difficulties that you forget, once they kind of disappear, but can make life really uncomfortable. So again, just great rave reviews for our product and for the people sharing the stories. It's all about the story. As we had talked a couple of weeks ago, I made a list of some of the things that you all wanted to discuss on this call, and I thought we'd start and do some of that tonight. Really, though, want to encourage you. Our conference, of course, coming up here in the next few days. Next Thursday night it starts. So virtual or in person, either one, it's just let's participate together and enjoy it. One of the things that came up in conversation here a couple of weeks ago was talking about time and how you utilize your time. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, and I want to talk about disciplining your disappointments. That was something else that was brought up. There were a few others, team building and identifying your why, but I don't think I can get to the entirety of all that tonight. But we'll take those, as the weeks go on and really begin to investigate and uh, talk about them, and then ask questions around them. That this can be interactive, certainly with the number of people on this call as compared to our Monday night call when we have hundreds of people. This one is manageable as far as us speaking with each other. So I'll, share a little bit, and then maybe you can ask questions or, you know, give us your input as well. When it comes to time, I think, we all have just so many hours in the day, and I really am convinced that they're going by faster than they ever have before. And I keep thinking, how could I have so much to do at a time where it seems like, we haven't been out of the house forever? And you would think there would be more time, but there doesn't seem to be more time. I don't know if it's because I feel like I'm cooking 300 meals a day, but something is happening, okay, because it's super busy. But if we look at our business and think about time, time is your only real commodity here, because it's where you're going to take your time every day to get the best results, to get the highest return. And we want to take our time to the best place every day for that highest return. And so I found for myself, when I started my business, I was, still teaching full time. My children were, at home. They were much, much younger then. I've been here 34 years. They're grown adults for a long time now. But we all have to manage our time in whatever situation we're in, whether we have very young children, teenage children, grown children, grandchildren, all the things that life takes us over with. And so some of the things I've found is that there are times that are dedicated just to my business. That's more or less what I would call the framework, the things that I'm definitely are going to do that are non-negotiable. I'll use the Monday night call as an example. I'm going to be in my chair on Monday night, and I'll make sure that that happened and has happened for the past 32 years, unless I had to fly at that time, and then or something that was really totally unavoidable, and then someone else would take over. But for the majority of all those years, that has been my commitment to myself as far as the framework. So you look at the things that are really, again, I'm going to use the word framework, the framework of your business that are non-negotiable. If you can have those non-negotiable things in place, it kind of keeps it all in place, or at least it does for me, because I have the framework to work within. Of course, events like our conference, like things that are, again, very strategic to building your business, that should be part of your framework as well. So things that you may, have for your own team. I always and I do this as I help someone grow to national marketing director, is we're going to have a weekly call, new team call, and training, with that team once a week. So that may go into your structure. But the structure should not be overwhelming. It should be enough that you can get that done always without fail, because then it gives you a feeling of success as well. As long as that activity is going on that you've committed to, then you're within the framework of your business. After that, then it's going to be, how am I going to manage to tell the story to as many new people as possible? And this is going to be for myself personally to bring on new team members, or working with that new front line and sometimes second line, as far as whether it's a three-way Zoom, a three-way phone call, what is that going to look like during my day? Most people, I was certainly one of them in the early times in my business, we have a full-time, you might have a full-time job or profession already. Just if you have small children, you have a full-time profession. Okay, that's a big one. And so, you really want to look at what is what does that commitment look like that you're already involved in, and what times can you schedule for things that, are going to be a commitment to someone else, whether you're going to be bringing on a new team member yourself, or whether you're going to be working with a team member to help them develop team. And then other than that, I'm looking at, as I hear Lauren say this a lot, Lauren LaHave, like, you keep your antennas up as to, the conversations that you're listening to and you're interactive with during the day. The people that you come across. I have, maybe it's, over the years, just gotten to where, and I think from the very beginning, it felt like this. I love people. I love their stories. I want to hear their stories. And so I like creating conversation. In my eyes, it's wherever I am, it's to make friends with the world. I've often said this business for me has been my love affair with the world. Okay. It's because whether I'm in the grocery store, a dress shop, I'm going to the chiropractor, whatever I'm doing. Okay, whatever your day involves, because we might be, going to the UPS store, you might be, whatever you're doing, the cleaners, whatever your day is, they're people. And so to really look at my business, and of course, you can't talk about just one subject like this without talking about others. The conversations, the friendships, that's event to lay the groundwork for team development. And so are team members. So I might not mention my business the first time I go to the cleaners, but I'm making a friend. I'm going to get to know those people. I'm going to ask about their children. Is the new baby there yet? And how's he doing? Just get to the pattern of your life. Get to know those people really well. When I was traveling a lot and staying in hotels, I got to know everybody that worked in the hotel. I tried to stay at the same place. I would get to know their stories and their family. Did they have children that were small? Did they have children in college? So that you could have those conversations where you keep up with people. And to me, this all goes into how you're utilizing your time, because that pays off. That's cumulative. If you can accumulate those kind of conversations and build those friendships and make those connections, then, the time is going to come when they're going to say, well, what do you do for a living? Or you've asked them, how's your family? And I'll say, for me, business is really busy. I've seemed to be on the go a lot, or things are really, I'll ask, how's business here? And they'll tell me it's good or it's bad. I'll pick up on that conversation to wrap this around what I'm hearing. And so, how you utilize your time. So I'm weaving into my day, whatever that day is. And for all of you, we all have a day, okay, every day where, we're interacting with people. And so often, we don't speak to them at all. Again, how you could go in the cleaners the rest of your life and never have a word with anybody except that you hand the money and take the clothes. So it's that little extra effort to create those friendships so that people everywhere. And I think right now, even more so than the past, people really, they've been isolated for so long that they love to have, people to be interested in them, to have conversation with them, because it's almost like that was, somebody put a stop on that as this whole pandemic started. So it's a wonderful way, I think, to utilize the time, and that's to weave into your day the conversations with the people that you come across. Now, that's certainly not to neglect the people in your warm market, the people you know, your family, the people you love, that you already know. That's kind of a given, I feel. That's where, that team development happens. But as far as your time during the day, utilizing it really well to continue to build your business, it's to create those friendships. Now, one thing I can tell you that I found about time that has helped me more than anything else, because it's always been busy. I think maybe it's because when we started, and I still recommend this, is that as we began our business, Jeff Roberti's my sponsor, we immediately worked at putting a really wide team together. It seemed like there was always somebody vying for the attention. We had a lot of activity going on. And I can remember saying to myself often, oh, if there were just 14 of me, I could get so much more done. If there were just 10 of me, if there were 12. And I would have this thing rolling around in my head that said, there are just not enough hours. There are not enough hours. And then I came across a book. I don't even remember the name of it, but I was reading on time management. And it said that, your time management really is the conversation that you're having with yourself in regard to your time. And it really instructed you to try the experiment to say, I have all the time I need. I will get everything done in just the right order and the right way. And I thought, that sounds a little way out, but I can give it a try. I can do it I think it was 21 days. Maybe that's how long it takes to form a habit. I'm not sure, but for 21 days, I said, I will every day say, I have got all the time I need. I will get everything done. And you know what? It totally changed my life. Just that one little thing, because I haven't felt that pressure ever since then. And it was because I was doing it to myself. The other thing that I've found, and I learned this, I think, along the way too, from watching people who were really good at what we do, who were, in top leadership, they totally focused on whatever was in front of them at hand. And so I have really learned to do that. That makes a big difference, is that wherever you are, be there 150%. If it's a conversation with someone, everything else falls away. And I think in our world today, that's more needed than anything else I can think of, because people have so many distractions. There's so many things that, from a technology standpoint, that come at you. There's just so much that fills our world as far as information, and even if it's traffic now, I mean, whatever it is. But wherever you are, if you're in a conversation, if you're on an event, if you're, whatever it is, give that 100%, and don't let anything else come into the periphery of your thinking, your focus. It really is focus. Focus on exactly what is happening at that moment. And I know even, of course, Missy, I see her on the line here with us. Missy's been my handler now for about we've been together 32 of the 33 years. But she knows very well, it's like, if I have an event coming up, we'll talk about what that is. Now, we do know when conference is coming up a little further in advance, okay? But like, we'll get the schedule together. We've been doing this for forever. We'll get the schedule together, and then she tells me what I have to do one day at a time. I have to do one day at a time. And so I don't want to think about the next thing until I have that thing finished. And that being able to focus 100% on whatever you're doing, and then not have to think about or worry about what's past or think about what's coming. It's just, where am I right now? that has really made a difference as far as time for me, where time's concerned. It's just 100% focus where you are. And then my saying to myself, I've got all the time I need, I'll get it all done. That has been huge because, and if I look back on it, when I was constantly saying, I don't have enough time, if there were only 12 of me, if there were only 14 of me, I spent so much time thinking about that, okay, that I could have gotten so much more done when I was thinking about if there were only 14 more of me. So just reading that one statement that said, really think differently, have a different mindset in regard to this, a different focus. It made a huge difference. And it's something that, again, it's one of those skills of entrepreneurship. We come into the world with, your parents telling you exactly what to do, and then you go to school and they tell you when you're going to be there and when the weekend is and what the plan is and what the schedule is. And then we usually, as we go into most professions, I was a teacher, they told me when to show up, when the day was over, all of that sort of thing. And in entrepreneurship, you have to discipline your own time. And that is a challenge if you've never really had to do it before. So first of all, get that framework of what are the things that are non-negotiables that you're committed to. Then what are you going to fit into that needs to be activity that is, going to propel and grow your business. For me, that's, pretty foundational. It's how many people can I talk to about my product in my business, and how many team members can I three-way call with, or, be part of helping them develop team. And so if once that's covered, then it's weave it into your day as far as conversations. Be really strict with your mindset. I've got all the time I need, I'll get it all done. And you really do. Our brains are really interesting because what you continue to suggest or to say to yourself becomes implanted in your subconscious thinking, and therefore you begin to demonstrate that. And that's why positive thinking is so important, because you don't want to inundate yourself with things that are negative or worrisome, because then you're going to demonstrate that. So this has been huge for me in my career, is to really have the mindset, I've got plenty of time to get it done, and really be focused in exactly where I am, and not carry the weight of what's already been done or what I have to worry about over here that, needs to be followed up with, or what's coming in the future, but where I am right now. So that takes us through, time. We have another minute or two. Anybody with any questions as far as time or managing time or anything like that? I may not know the answer, but I'll try. Okay. Anyone on time? Anybody? I feel like that gives you a little bit of a thought of a handle on time, because again, it's the most important commodity as far as our business is concerned, is how to discipline your time. Any questions? Does that feel good anyway? Okay. Okay, well, next week we're going to talk about then disciplining your disappointments. I think this is a really important one, because disappointments are really, they can steal your opportunity, they can steal your future, and you really cannot allow anybody to steal your opportunity, even yourself. And so managing and disciplining disappointments becomes a huge skill. That's one that's very important. It's certainly, everybody experiences disappointments in their businesses. Just like we experience things that are wonderful, you experience disappointments as well. So next week, let's talk about that, and how to, really have a framework, a way of thinking to deal with it, because disappointment never feels good. And so you want to, from a business standpoint, be on top of that as well. So
okay, Cheryl, that would be October 28th, because next week's conference.
See, that's what she keeps me up on. Okay.
I'm handling her right now.
She's
You are,
handling
you get her,
that.
Missy.
This is all the
Started
handling
action.
part.
You start in action.
That was the handling part. Okay. Real good. Okay, everyone. It's been a joy. I'm sorry that we that I blipped y'all off a computer. I still think I'm the one who did it, and I apologize. But let's enjoy conference. We'll come back talking about that probably to a certain extent, and then we'll go to disappointments. Okay.
Thank you, Cheryl. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you so much. I
Thank
love
you
the
so
information
much.
about
Thank
time.
you.
Thank
you.
Thank you. This was fabulous. Yes, it was.
Thank you.
you.
Bye. Thank you, Andrea, and all your team.
My pleasure. They were great. Great job, guys.
Yes, they were
Thank you.
amazing.
They were wonderful.